Hello and welcome back to another installment of Fodder. Today we have the announcement of version 3.0.8, I believe. And with the addition of the new update, new EX figures. In fact, more than just EX figures, more rares, more uncommons, a whole new banner, the recommended boosters. We will get into all that. Let's check out. This isn't really where I even wanted to go, but we'll check it out anyways. I'm just going to tell you now, I'm going to butcher these names, and it is what it is. I'm going to do my best, but I'm sure that I'm going to get the names wrong. So go ahead in the comments below, phonetically spell them out so that maybe in future videos I will get them correct, but there's no guarantee on that, quite honestly. I still haven't got Treviant or Treviant or Tree or Trevenant correct. I call it Tree because it looks like a damn tree. But maybe it's Trev. I don't know. But that's what we're gonna go with. So we're gonna start off with 3 new EXs. We have Cobalion. Virizion. No, so we'll go, let's say it's Virizion. So we'll call this one Cobalion? Cobalion? Cobalion. Virizion. Leon. Cobalion. We're like a minute into this video and I haven't said anything properly yet. So we'll call him Cobalion. Virizion. But that can't be right. Leon. Virizion. Eon. Cobalion. Cobalion. We'll go with Cobalion. I can't believe how terrible this is so far. We're going to go with this guy right here. I'm sorry. In my head, I had a way that I wanted to say the name of this Pokemon. And now when I'm sitting here recording it, and I could just edit this out, but it's so much better and funnier to me if you guys see the struggle that I go through to pronounce some of these names. And it's, quite honestly, it's hard to pronounce names that are made up in someone else's mind. It's like Pig Latin. If you don't know the lingo, you're like, what the heck is that? So anyway, so we're gonna go with this guy. And he is a steel fighting type. So he's gonna be viable in the next gym, which it really does. If they follow the pattern they've been going, I have no reason to suspect they're going to change it up. But if they follow the pattern that they're going, we are going to have a steel ground. From what the experts in the Pokemon world are telling me, steel is going to get +1 and the ground is going to get the +20 damage. I don't know if that's right. I trust you guys on some of this stuff. I'm going to go with what the experts say, and that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm going to go with. So this guy, if we look at his wheel, well, let's look at his ability first. He has Iron Heart. This Pokemon and your Pokemon adjacent to this Pokemon are not knocked out by gold from their battle opponents. Okay, that's a new ability that I haven't seen before. He's got a 40 wheel slice of Sword of Justice that does a 101 damage. He's got 2 12 dodge pieces, 2 4 misses. At level 5, one of those will go away. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's the one before the dodge. If I'm not mistaken, I feel like in other Pokemon, the one next to the dodge, and we can look at Greninja and double check that, but I think that's the one that would go away. And then he's got a quick attack 60, which is going to be a 24 wheel slice. I'm thinking, so here's where my head is on this Pokemon. It's a nice ability. I definitely wouldn't use him with the intention of trying to keep him with a heavy purple Pokemon, because then you're like running a tandem down the field, and that seems cumbersome and maybe not really flow well with the game. If I'm powering up, if I'm leveling up this Pokemon, I think, here's my initial thought. My initial thought is level up the 40 slice Wheel of Justice. But I'm almost wondering if you put one of your leveling up into one of the dodges, that then instead of maybe losing your dodge or maybe losing your quick attack, because I believe it'd be 50-50 between the two. If you put one into your dodge, then you would lose your quick attack and you'd still keep your dodge. That may be the way to go on that. I think upon first inspection, that's where I'd go, is I'd put 3 levels into the Sword of Justice and 1 into one of the dodges. I think I'm thinking about that correctly. If not, let me know. That's probably where I'd head on that. Moving on, we have Brizion, Terrakion. We're going to call him Terrakion. How about that? That sounds about right. He has the ability of Beatdown, which I like the name of that, Beatdown. All of the blue attacks on battle opponents of the Pokemon become misses. That sounds really damaging, quite honestly, because I know on my Mew, I powered up the blue. On my Sceptile, I powered up the blue so that they'd have no miss. And now those giant blue slices or giant miss slices, basically you're going to have to pay very close attention to the matchups moving forward. And you definitely want to keep your Sceptile, your Greninja, your Mew away from this Pokemon. Not that you'd want to ideally have Mew or Greninja going up against him anyways. But if you find yourself in a situation where this Pokemon, Terrakion, is coming at one of your 2 runners, you might be better served to find a new spot for those runners. He's got an 8 miss and a 12 miss, or a 8 miss and a 4 miss for 12 at level 5. That's going to go down to 8 miss over 2 different sections. That's not great. Also the Sword of Justice for the 101 and the 120 Stone Edge, although that's only a 20 wheel size, so we'll say roughly 20% chance of landing that. 1 in 5, not great odds. I would say that you're probably counting on the Sword of Justice here. If I were leveling this one up, I would probably go with the Stone Edge on this. Is probably where I'd head on that. And if I'm doing a chain level, I'm definitely dropping it into Stone Edge, just because if you happen to come up against, and we'll talk for the gym specifically, because this is rock fighting. Did I say ground gym? Maybe it's a rock. We're going to double check. I'm going to go back and look. I meant to do the banner stuff first. Maybe it's a rock gym, but regardless of that, if you're using this Pokemon and your opponent is using Palkia, because Palkia has the, if you tie, your Pokemon gets removed ability, I wouldn't want any of my Pokemon that I might be using in any kind of situation to be at 120. I would definitely want to bump that off of the number to avoid any potential ties with Palkia. Not that I suspect we'll see a lot of Palkias running around, just in case though. And oh boy, the final EX is Noviern. His ability, he's a flying dragon type with supersonic speed. If this Pokemon has evolved, all the gold attacks of the battle opponents of this Pokemon become white attacks. So there you go. Looking at his wheel, he's got an 8 miss, can go down to 4. Boom Bust is a new ability, and opposing Pokemon adjacent to the battle opponent spins, And if it spends a gold attack, then it's knocked out. That is very similar to Greninja's Water Shuriken, quite honestly. I like that, and it's 100 damage. It is white, but 100 damage is very usable. Dragon Pulse for 50, an 8 dodge, and a 24 slice of Hurricane, which is going to send your opponent's flying type. So it's not the same Hurricane as Lugia has, where the opponent goes back. This one is the opponent's flying type. Oh, wait. No, hold on. I'm misreading. Your opponent's flying type Pokemon on the field gain weight 3. Wow. I misread that. So if I'm running the 3 legendary birds and Ho-Oh, this guy's a disaster for my team. This guy's bad news. And a lot of people are running Moltres and Zapdos right now. You know, looking at this one, I kind of thought this was the weakest of the 3 EXs, but now that I'm looking at this, there's a lot of flying type Pokemon. Wow. Okay, so, you know, he actually has a really nice ability. I'm pleasantly surprised on this one. And just like with every banner, it's going to take a few days to sort things out. I will definitely do spotlights as I get these Pokemon and leading up to a potential gym. Just during the weeks, I definitely like to do the spotlights so we can see their abilities in action. And it's hard to look at some of these Pokemon on the screen and be like, oh yeah, this is great for this, this, this. You kind of have to get them into the game and test them out. It's very, very interesting Hurricane there. And it doesn't say anything about sending him back to the bench, which is what Lugia's Hurricane does. Wait, 3, wow. I'm actually liking this Pokemon now that I'm looking at him. Although the 2, it's only going to roll about 1/5 of the time, a quarter of the time. And a 2-star purple is very common, so you're looking at a lot of mirror matches there. But, you know, where before I thought he was probably the weakest of them all, as I'm reading this, I'm changing my mind. I think he has some good utility. We're not going to go into all the rares, but we have Ninjask, Galvantula, and Heatmore, and Durant as well. We'll go into them more if the meta looks like we need to. Just looking at the wheels and what they say, Ninjask can pass through Pokemon who have weight. Okay. And if you get him evolved, he's 4 MP from the bench. That's exactly what Speed Deoxys has. Block up opposing Pokemon with his powerful paralysis-based combination of ability and attacks. Could be good with an electric deck. Exclude Durant from the duel with Melt and Eat. Okay, there's a move called Melt and Eat, and then these little ant critters called Durant blanket the field with the ability to team fight. If there's an adjacent Durant, this Pokemon's white attack becomes gold attacks, which is the same as what Carvanha has. While this Pokemon is on the field, it can move over other Durants, and the 3 Pokemon limit does not apply. Although I don't know why you'd want to run a ton of these. Quite honestly, their damage doesn't stack. But nonetheless, there you go. So those are the new Pokemon briefly. We will definitely go into more details later down the road. Swinging back around. Okay, how do I get rid of that? Okay, so here it is, the new Pokemon that have been added to the game. We kind of just went over them. Figures available again are Aggron, which got a buff. Genesect, which got new plates. Rhyperior, Heatran, then some of the other rares and uncommons. Feel free to check those out as you see necessary. New plates available. Steel Energy. During this duel, your Steel-type Pokemon cannot become poisoned or noxious, and the damage of one of each of these Pokemon's highly... Man, I was never great at reading aloud, and it's showing here. So, the damage of each of those Pokemon's most highly damaging wide attacks that normally deals at least 10 damage is increased by 10 and your turn ends. So basically, not only are they not going to become poisoned, they become stronger. Very interesting, very interesting. I don't expect to see a lot of the Steel Energy plate, quite honestly, just because I didn't see a lot of noxious decks. Although I do know that people like to run the poison decks. They seem like they were run just more for fun than for use. And then we have 4 new drives for Genesect to go with the 4 he already had just for him. Basically what it is the Burn Drive, the Douse Drive, the Chill Drive, and the Shock Drive, with the benefit of that you can respin one time. Which is, I mean, if you're going to give one Pokemon a plate that can only be used once, and then if you landed on not his move, then it was a wasted plate. Now they're coming back and redoing it, except that you can respin. And I'd be interested to see if you're running, say, Tropical Energy, which doesn't allow for respins. I wonder if this plate overrides that. Something that we'll have to test out, because I just don't know. And finally, we have time boosters. Orange are sticking around. As you can see, I'm actually trying to open an orange one as we speak. This booster is guaranteed to hold a rock or steel. Okay, so when I said ground at the beginning, it's not ground. We're going to go with rock steel is going to be the gem. I believe steel still grabs the 1 MP and rock goes with the plus 20 damage, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know, let me, and I'm sure you guys will. If that's wrong, I know there'll be a lot of comments of people who are like, nope, that's not right. So there you go. The event duration, 5/10 through 5/24, so it's 2 weeks. I would expect the next Gym Cup to start in a week. And there you go. Lots of information to digest here. As you can see, I'm still running my same deck. But I did open some boosters. You know, like I'm going to open boosters. I had 4, I saved my 4 my 4 booster tickets from the gym instead of spinning them last banner. I saved them, so I'm going to open them for you guys. And then there's still not a gym sale. Very, very sad about that. So I had to pay way over full price. Well, I paid full price, which is way overpriced, to buy some gems so I could open some boosters for you guys. And I'm gonna leave you guys with that. I'll speed it up a little so it's not slow. There's no commentary on it. And I'll even change up the music. Here's the deal on the music. I'm just gonna step aside for 1 second from the video. Here's the deal on the music. Half of you say, keep the same music because it's kind of your staple and, you know, that's what we know Poke Fodder is. And then another half of you say, please change the music. Well, if half of you are complaining and half of you are happy, then I must be doing something right and the music's going to stay, because quite honestly, it's easier. And I kind of like the ditty, and I try to make the music soft enough so it's really just in the background and not just blank noise behind me. So if you hate the music, I apologize. That's not changing, but for the booster opening, to appease you guys, and you know who you are, but to appease you guys who complain about the music, for the booster opening, I will play different music. And I will foreshadow just a little bit. My booster pulls were pretty good. No complaints. I'll leave you with that, so until next time.